Ah, fudgety fudge fudge.
So what, are we over it or what?
No, 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 I'm starting it back up. Hold on, okay.
Okay.
Ah, fudgety fudge fudge.
So what, are we over it or what?
No, no,
So
no, no, I'm starting it
now
back
it's
up.
happening
Hold
again?
on, okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's happening again.
Oh my God, what the
You need to like turn your volume down on or something like on one of
So what,
your
are we over it or what?
I don't know. It's happening again.
I don't know why it's doing that. Like it's playing the video in the background while we're continuing.
Hold on. Where are you doing the live stream to? YouTube and Facebook or what?
YouTube, but it's not even showing on YouTube. Oh, there we go. This is fucking ridiculous. I don't know why it was playing it though. It doesn't make sense.
Let's figure this out. So you said we're live right now?
I guess so.
Yeah, it shows that we're live. Content of this meeting is being sent to YouTube. Okay, cool.
Why can't I get us side by side?
Uh, you just gotta put it gallery, right?
Yeah.
Or multi-speaker? No, not multi-speaker. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it should be multi-speaker. Oh my gosh, no. This is ridiculous. I don't understand.
Mhm.
Well, people get to see the real deal here.
Huh, who cares?
Freaking going through.
Like,
There we
no,
go.
nobody.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Zoom, for straightening your shit up.
yeah,
Any,
no, no.
but anyways, we're supposed to be talking about
Yeah,
our
nobody
wants
cares.
and
Hmm.
whatnot.
Hmm.
But you were making a good point about things. Um, when you're working on doing better for yourself and whatnot, building a business, all of it. It seems like life likes to throw you a bunch of wrenches and trip you up, but I don't know, like most of my life was different wrenches being thrown, so I guess I'm just used to it. It doesn't bother me anymore.
Yeah, and it's well, so you do, yeah, you can just get used to it, I guess. But like, what can we do to I don't know, be more proactive in dealing with it, and not, and also not letting us get discouraged, not letting it pull us off our game, because that's what it seems like everything is trying to do, right?
I don't think my game is being thrown off. I think I'm all right,
Okay.
honestly. Um, Even with my crankiness, there's a reason behind it, right? And it's gonna sound kind of rude, maybe, but when you're doing certain things to change for yourself and whatever for life, right? Do better for yourself. Certain people are gonna have to leave your life. Certain energies are no longer gonna uh, be allowed in your life. So when I feel myself getting agitated with certain things or people, I take that as a sign that maybe we're not supposed to be really like hanging out too much, you know?
Right. Right.
Like Not that they're good or bad people, like I don't have to label them or myself or whatever, but for whatever reason, my energy isn't, you know, feeling it. And I need to step back, figure out what that is, and go with how I choose, you know?
Right.
I think it's worth it for the aggravation to continue whatever it is, or should I maybe take it as a sign like that's not for me? Because in the past, I haven't always listened to that. So
That's an
now I
interesting
listen
point.
to
So
it.
you think, so you're saying like when certain people or
Anything, just
situations happen while you're doing something, that you should take that as a sign that maybe that's not the right place for you? Maybe that's not the right thing.
sometimes, or is it something I need to work on, right?
Yeah, for me, I'm always looking at it as, well, I guess yeah, you kind of need to look at it from both angles. Like, hey, okay, am I in the right place right now? Am I in the right focus? Is my focus in the right place? Am I doing the right thing? Am I where I belong? Right? Am I where I belong? Um, and no one can answer that except you. But what I can say for me is that when shit starts getting difficult, which it's going to get difficult no matter what. I use that as a gauge to tell me like, hey, am I actually on the right track here? Am I making progress? Because if shit's not getting difficult, then you're probably not playing a big enough game. You're probably not really actually making any kind of progress. It's not supposed to be simple. It's not supposed to be easy. But it's also not supposed to make you miserable all the time either, right? You're supposed to be like enjoying and getting energy from what you're trying to do.
Right.
That's why
Like
like I
in your
can't freaking,
chart, yeah.
yeah.
Like you can enjoy something. Why did it switch? Who's in
Oh, it's just
charge?
my camera. Sorry, it's my camera. It's my stupid camera. Apologies.
I'm like, what the heck?
Um,
But yeah,
yeah.
you know, so it's different. Whatever. I don't know. I just got thrown off when it switched. But let's talk about this 21-day challenge we started yesterday about speaking of things we want versus the things we don't want. I mean, of course, we need one without one for the other, right? We need to understand a little bit what we don't want to understand what we want, but the focus shouldn't be on what we don't want because then we continue to attract what we don't want if we focus on the don't want.
That's interesting. That makes sense though. Makes
Yeah.
sense that if you're telling yourself constantly what you don't want and looking at what you don't want, whatever it is, you're actually focusing on what you don't want, and so you attract more of what you don't want, which is like the opposite of what you would think would happen.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's
So
interesting, right?
yeah, I mean that's pretty counterintuitive to what what you think would happen, but it makes sense. It does make sense. So did you say you spoke to the universe what you want, right?
I mean,
Have you actually visualized it and like actually made it real in your mind what you want?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say that I have a clear picture, like, I mean, they say like get detailed.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure I have that clear of a detail of what I want. Again, avoiding the don't wants to get but you still have to think about that thing. Um, so
So
yeah,
yeah, we were talking about the book The Science of Getting Rich last night. which is an amazing book. And if anyone hasn't read that yet, you need to go read it. But it talks about sort of exactly what we're talking about. You don't focus on what you don't want. You focus exactly you focus on what you do want, and you focus on it so hard, and you visualize it so much, like every day you visualize what you want, to the point where you're like literally walking through that house that you want, or you can like feel the wood under your feet. You're picturing yourself putting up the new pictures on the wall, and like whatever, the new paint, and all of that, but you visualize it to the point where it's like real in your mind. And then on top of that, you speak it to the universe in such a way to almost trick, not even almost, you're tricking your subconscious, is what you're doing.
Yeah. Another thing that like for the visualization and manifestation and all of that, writing stuff down like in the past tense. Like I like remember when we went here, or remember when we bought this house, remember when, you know, and so I think it's working. I
Yeah.
do stuff like that.
Yeah. What it's doing is like making you actually believe that it's attainable, and that you not only it's attainable, that you deserve it, and that you are not any less capable of attaining those things than anyone else is. And if someone else has been able to do it, you can also do it,
You could
right?
do it even if somebody else hasn't done it.
You can do it if someone hasn't done it, but you can especially do it if someone else is capable of becoming wealthy, of obtaining the things that they want in life. You absolutely can do it. It's just that people get discouraged, things don't happen fast enough. Like we were talking about, life throws a bunch of curveballs, uh, like seemingly all at once. But again, that's how you know you're on the right track. Just FYI for anyone listening, that's how you know you're on the right track.
Yeah, I would say so. I would
Mm.
say so. Things like, yeah, I don't even want to talk about some of the stuff. Let's talk about just things we want. Let's get back to that because I don't want to think about the other stuff that has recently came along to try to gunk up the works. It's not going to work though because I've changed my thinking and whatnot. So
Good.
it's like
So what
things
do
from
you
the past tried to come back to my life. And, you
Mhm.
know, so in the past, I probably would have chosen to interact with these people and, argue with them because I've had people, you hurt me, this and that.
God, that's never a good idea. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And these were people that I cared about and I still care about them. I mean, at one time we spent a lot of time together and whatever. Um, but I know that it's not necessarily the best choice for me to interact with them, right? For whatever reason. So I just chose to leave it at that. Like we hadn't spoke in so many years, I figured, you know, there's no reason. There's no reason to argue why we haven't spoken. It's been many years. I feel like I was past it. They should be past it,
Yeah.
whatever. But so in that, going back to what I want relationships with people that respect me, that, I can respect and we can do things together like, vacations and help people too, like buy our real estate, travel to, for many different reasons. Um, and I found that. I found that. So I brought that to my life, and I'm going to continue to bring it into my life by thinking of the things I want for myself and my family and friends and anybody else,
Yeah,
versus the things I don't want.
good. Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, because focusing on the stuff, the good stuff, and what you actually want is gonna, well, that, what do we call it? It's a manifestation, right? You're manifesting what you want.
Yeah.
Something that's important in the book, though, the book I mentioned, The Science of Getting Rich, which, by the way, the book is not what you think. It's not really what you think it is. It was written over 100 years ago, before the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which everybody knows about. This one was written before that one in 1910, and it talks about the fact that you not only do you want to visualize and understand that this is something, the things that you want are attainable, but it's not just about thinking it. It's not just about speaking it. It's like you have to kind of know that it's going to take some work, right? Like just thinking and visualizing something is really good because it starts to make you believe you can get it, and that helps drive your action, but you still have to take action. Like there was this stupid, I forget what it was called. I think it was called like the secret or something, where it was like all you do is just think
Why'd you
about.
say stupid? You said stupid?
I think that book it's got some of it right in my opinion, but it's, for the most part, it's just telling people all you have to do is think it and you'll get it. It's like, no, no,
I mean, I think I don't know. I
it's not
haven't
just
watched it
about
in a
thinking.
while or whatever. So I don't know.
Well,
It's
the
been,
thing the thing that about that is like some people will think things and things will happen in their life that sort of randomly leads them to that outcome, and then they'll claim that book worked. And then there's other people that, if I dream that I want a house on the moon, if I think that I want a house on the moon, that doesn't mean I'm going to get it. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
well, yeah, of
if
course.
i if all I do is just think it.
True. Yeah, I mean, there has to be effort,
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to find other people that had the same outlook as far as life, like we could do more with our time and energy
Mhm.
than what we have been doing, right? Like the regular 9 to 5, you
Mhm.
know, hustle and bustle. And
Mhm.
then when do you have time for yourself and your family and whatever, right? And so I never really got into all of that because I always knew that I wanted to spend more time with the people I love than I wanted to making money. Granted, I lived minimally, I still do. I don't mind. I don't mind. Like, I don't need a lot of stuff, you know. I want people in my life, not stuff. Stuff. Not supposed to say not. Not supposed to be talking about the knots.
Yeah. Come on, Fancy, get with
But
it.
either way, like so like the things I went through, and so I didn't just say I want this and bam, people appeared, right? Um, I went and found that by listening to people who are speaking more positive and doing something different than what I was already doing. And it led me, you know, there was a trail that I had to follow, and ultimately it led me to you. There was a lot of things, right, that happened and are still happening to make it all happen and come together, which is okay, you know. Um,
Yeah, and you know what? Look, we're both still learning. There's things that there's things that are going to come up that are going to be amazing, and things are going to come up that are going to be really good learning lessons. It's already happened many times in the
Yeah.
last few years,
The
but
nice thing about it is now I have friends
mhm,
and business partners and all that to help with everything.
mhm,
Whereas before, most of it was myself
mhm.
that had to, I didn't really have any kind of support, you know. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
I'm
I
not
know exactly
complaining.
what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. So let's keep on that trajectory.
So yesterday you spoke of some of your wants. You want to buy your childhood home.
Mhm.
Do you want to expand on that or no? Or do you want to speak of something else?
I
Like
mean,
why do you want like not that it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just asking why
well,
that
because one, it's a very nice piece of real estate and a very, very nice place. And two, it's some of my earliest memories. We spent a long time there. And my mom ended up having to get rid of the house because she was a single mom and she just couldn't afford to keep it. Like if large houses like that are real people
any
don't
house though, being a single
any
parent.
house, but especially larger houses with a lot of property, uh, they require a great deal of maintenance, maintaining and landscaping and everything else that goes wrong with a house. So she just couldn't handle it. She just didn't want to deal with it anymore. But if we had hung on to that property, I mean, think about this. My mom and dad bought that house in 1986 for $180,000,
Wow.
almost $200,000, which was a lot of money back then
Yeah.
for a house. And um, the house now is worth almost $2.4 million. So if she had hung on to it, now granted,
Oh,
30
dude.
plus years, but and that's not even super nice comparatively speaking to a lot of the places that are around that house. I don't, but that's not what it's about. That
Yeah.
about the
No, I
property. It's
mean,
about
it's
the.
memories and everything.
Yeah.
I like
So
that.
I want to buy it. I don't only want to buy it, I want to fix it up. I want to get it like modernized. Um, but anyway,
I want
so
that for you.
mhm, thank you.
I want that for you.
We'll get there. We will get there. And so what about you? That's not the only thing I want,
I know. What else do you
but
want?
yeah. Yeah, what about you?
Me?
Mhm.
I would definitely want to travel. I want to
Why?
see things. The funny thing is I opened my computer. I was messing with my computer earlier, right? And then I shut it, didn't shut it down, but I walked away. And when I came back to start messing with my computer again to get on this Zoom, something about Ireland was all over my screen. Like there was stuff, I'm like, what the heck is this? I'm
Interesting.
like, I guess
You do have red hair, Pansy, so
I, well, it's blondish, it's dirty blonde.
okay.
Um, as I got older, it darkened, but it's
Mm,
dirty blonde. It gets lighter. Look, I got some lighter streaks and stuff
mm,
all through.
mhm,
Um, Natural highlights. So
mhm,
believe it or not, so I wasn't born with curly hair.
mm.
My hair was straight for the longest time.
Oh,
I used to pay to perm my hair and color it.
wow, your hair was straight
It was straight.
and now it just stays curly?
And now it's curly. After I had my children, it got curlier and curlier.
Interesting.
And um I used to dye it, like do highlights and stuff.
Mhm,
Um and I didn't like it. I don't know. Always made it look too bright and stuff like
mhm,
that. But
mhm.
one day I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to color my hair. And it just naturally started doing its own highlights in places. So
Okay,
maybe
so
I
you want to go to
manifested it.
Ireland. So you want
Huh?
to go to Ireland then?
I have been considering taking a trip to Ireland for the longest time. Like I always said, if I was gonna leave the country to visit anywhere, that it would probably be like Ireland or Scotland or,
You go to Greece. You should go to Greece.
let's go.
Yeah. My brother went to Crete and said it was some of the best food he's ever had. Do you know in Crete that you can live like very, very comfortably? Like I'm talking upper middle class, really comfortable life in a nice place for like 2 grand a month.
That's not bad.
Mhm. But I
That's
mean
good. I'm down for
that like
everywhere,
covers
man.
everything. That like covers everything. That's not just rent. That's I mean like that covers everything, right? It covers your food, your rent,
Really.
transportation. Yeah. Like it's uh yeah, you can live very comfortably for like 2 grand a month there.
All right, let's go.
Mm.
I gotta get my passport. I'm actually writing a list of things I need to get done very quickly too, right? Because I plan on being on the road here um shortly. It may or may not work quite the way I'm thinking. I might have to fly to Texas and then come back and then travel. I'm not sure yet. But either way, I'm open to being able to get whatever I need to do done, whichever way I have to get it done.
Well, I would say this too, like, for folks that are in business, which is real estate investing, like you've got to be prepared to either try, you got to be prepared to travel anyway. Like something happens, like you need to go look at someplace or you've got to go deal with a problem. So like you got to be ready to get some plane tickets and get on a plane and go there. If you don't have people in that place that you can trust to go do it for you, or you can't pay someone to go do like, there's going to be a lot of that. And
They pay me to travel.
huh?
I said they could pay me to travel.
They can
I
pay,
can
right.
travel.
Well, I mean,
I have the availability.
I know you'll go at the drop of a hat, which is great because there's going to be plenty of situations like the properties we're looking at in Tennessee. Like you may need to go out there,
Okay,
I may need to go out there.
okay,
Um,
let's do it.
so travel is just kind of a part of it. I would say if you're, unless you're just doing everything in your backyard, like I can't. I'm in California. I'm not doing no real estate investing in my backyard
You
here.
said not.
Yeah, well, not right now anyway. But
You said not.
yeah, you're right. I said not. That's my bad. I I want to do real estate investing in my backyard here. But California
No.
is one of those places that you come back to, right? It doesn't mean it's not possible. It just means you come back to it.
So we're not speaking of the knots, though. We're speaking of,
Knots or butts?
yeah,
No
we're not
knots or
saying
butts.
knots or buts. Just one,
Yeah,
just once,
cool.
okay? We're attracting,
Hold
right?
on, my camera's
We're attracting what we want.
uh-huh.
So when we say those other words, dude, look, you're invisible now.
I know. I know. Sorry, technical difficulties.
Oh, like we don't know anything about that.
Right, exactly. I feel like I should hide my phone number.
Yeah, well, it's a little late now.
I know. I'm gonna put, well, whatever.
We can always go back and edit it. I mean, if you want
No, it's not, I'm not that worried about it. I just won't pick up your calls if like for the 3 people that are watching us right now. Um,
to. Is it only, dude, what is going on with your camera? I don't like talking to a ghost.
hold on. There we
There
go.
you are. How about that?
Mhm.
That's so weird that you could do that.
Okay, so you said you want to travel. Why?
Why? For many reasons.
Mhm.
I mean, I've always been the kind of person that would like to visit family and friends and whatnot and see new places. But I was limited to how far I can go, um, because of work or school, kids' school and stuff like that. And yeah, it just didn't sit well with me. So over the years, I made it where I didn't have those restrictions. So the last few years, I've been traveling more with my kids and visiting family, friends, and places all over the United States. And I flew to Puerto Rico, which is awesome. Um, and I just want to be able to do more of that. There's so much beauty on this planet that that many people don't get to experience, so I want to experience the beauty and nature and cultures, and share that with others.
Yeah, I want to go to, so there's a few places. So I want to go back to Italy. This time I want to go to see Florence. I want to go see back to Rome. I want to go to Normandy. I want to go to Holland. Um,
That sounds fun.
I want to go to the UK, go see London. I've never been to London. I've
I've
only been to
never been
London.
out of the country except to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I've only been to into London Heathrow Airport, just at the airport. I've never seen London. Um, and then I've been to Italy, but I was a lot younger. It was still fun, but I think I would have like a different perspective now, right? Going there. So, um,
That's
yeah.
how life is sometimes, you get a different perspective,
Mhm,
depending on where you are in your life, at the time.
mhm.
So
Yeah, exactly. I really appreciated it, but I think I would appreciate it more now, honestly.
most likely, I don't think, well, yeah. As kids, I don't know if we realize so much.
I
Uh,
mean, I definitely appreciated the history. I've always been a history buff.
me
So
too.
I appreciated the history, uh, but I don't think quite as much as I would now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I can appreciate history and architecture,
mm,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Um, at one time when I was younger, I actually kind of thought I would go into architecture.
Oh, really?
It was fascinating.
Interesting.
You
Okay.
know what was more fascinating about it? The math
Oh,
part.
the math part? Oh, interesting. Okay. Why do you
Yeah,
think that?
yeah,
The math part? Is that what you said?
yeah.
Why do
Believe
you
it
say
or not,
that?
I do like math,
Okay.
but
Well, I'm curious, like why you say that? Like why the math part?
because I don't usually like to look at the math part of things.
Oh,
But
okay.
certain things I do, like figuring out dimensions and whatnot, and you know, structure. So, but then I changed my mind.
Okay.
It wasn't what I want. I don't know. I don't know. I never knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. I still don't know. I just know that
I think wanting to know or knowing what you want to be when you grow up is a limiting way to think about stuff.
there you go. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't, well,
I mean, I don't know. You should it's good to kind of have a trajectory and know where you want
I
to
think
get
you
to.
should know what you enjoy.
Yeah,
And
that's probably more important.
um,
What you really like, know
yeah,
what gives you energy.
then that you have your qualities, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
many of us have a lot of different qualities
Hmm.
and abilities that we could bring to the table in many different situations. But we're not taught to focus on that, right? Growing up and throughout life, we're taught to focus on pretty much surviving, making money to eat, sleep, whatever.
Well, you're taught to work for someone else. You're taught to acquire skills so you can go work for someone else. That's what
But
you're.
ultimately to survive, right?
I guess, yeah.
In life to most mostly to just get by.
Yeah. I just, yeah, the school, if you're talking about the school system, then yeah, you're,
Any system, like for the most part, through life, watching, I mean, I don't know, like you have a different background than I do, obviously. I don't know, but I can tell you from growing up what I saw, and I felt like there was nothing to give you incentive to want to do better,
Mhm.
you know, or want more or think differently or whatever, because one way or another, you were kind of chastised or whatnot, you know? So,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see
but I
that.
didn't focus on that. I focused on what did I want in life, right? You know, um, a lot of things that I was told, I'm like, that's unacceptable. I don't accept that. Nope, there's a different way. We're not, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
and
there's a different way.
yeah,
Yeah, that's how I always thought too. Like, Jesse Stanton talks about this a lot. It's like if you visualize the outcome that you're trying to get to, like your brain does this thing where it tries to find the shortcuts, where it tries to find the path of least resistance. And you do kind of have to embrace that and use that to reverse engineer what you need to do. So, and I know that's you and I, that's what we're doing right now, but it's one of those things it does require work. You've got to put effort into it. Like the whole like, it'll happen, and we're just not saying it'll happen, but like just hoping that it happens. Like you have to do the work.
can't just wish it.
You can't just wish it. You do need to visualize it and see it so clearly. That's where the difference between the two books, The Science of Getting Rich and Think and Grow Rich, the two main differences between those two books, they both talk about visualizing and literally speaking what you want to the universe, but they the difference is that the Think and Grow Rich book tells you to write down the things and give yourself a timeline, right? And be repeating that to yourself, like looking at it and repeating what you want to yourself every day. Think and Grow Rich says, okay, write down these things, give yourself a timeline, and speak it to yourself every single day what you want. The Science of Getting Rich says you need to visualize so clearly what you want that you need to be able to feel the grass under your feet, smell the paint on the wall, like so clear what you want. And then speak to the universe what you want, but speak it in such a way that it is not like, I want this, or I hope this happens, or even that, like you were talking about, speaking it as if it already happened. You speak it as if it's happening right now. Like, I'm so grateful that I'm making $100,000 a month. I'm so grateful that I have two amazing businesses and two amazing business partners, and we're doing big things. I'm so grateful that we have 100 doors in our portfolio, that we were able to achieve that goal in less than a year. And I'm so great, right? You speak it like that, but you do it every single day, right when you get up, like
Yeah.
right after you get up. And what happens is you trick your brain, you trick your subconscious, and it sounds like it's just like total hooey.
No,
You
it
do
doesn't.
this.
No, it doesn't. I
For
I
me,
do that too.
yeah.
I mean, like I said, I've been manifesting, putting things, but it wasn't just I woke up and said, I'm grateful for this and bam, it happened.
No, right.
I
You
mean,
had to
I
put some
had
work
to
in.
do some work. I had
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
you
That's the
know,
other piece of it. The
yeah,
Science of Getting Rich is also about putting the work in, right?
yeah,
Um, and then you really get into putting the right kind of work in, right? Because you could put two people, like you could put Pace and someone else in the same business doing the same things, right? With the same resources, and Pace is going to
Who
blow
pays?
past, huh? Pace Morby. I'm just using it as an example.
I know,
Pace,
I'm just saying we're live
yeah,
and,
yeah, yeah. So if you don't know who Pace Morby is, go look him up. But I'm just saying like, and I'm just using Pace as an example here.
no,
You,
I
you
know.
could put Pace and someone else, even me. You could put Pace and me in the same business, same resources. Pace is gonna blow past me, right? And is gonna be more successful because he's doing the right things in the right order, right? He knows the right things to do in the right order. We're learning these things, but this is why you can have two different people do the same thing and one gets incredibly rich and the other one goes bankrupt. It's like, how does that happen? It's not just because one person is better than the other, right? It's not just because one person has more education than the other. It's because they understand the right way to do things, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're correct. I mean, there's not always like, it's not always black and white, like right
No,
and
not.
wrong
But
way, but they understand the system and a way to get things done versus, because they've already been doing, right?
well, it's like you have a finite amount of resources. You need to get results as and build momentum as quickly as possible. Once you have that momentum, now you have some time to think and expand on what you're doing. But in the beginning, I wish somebody had told me this in the very beginning. Like, you need to not worry about all the systems crap, and you just need to worry about your first, last, and only thing you should be focused on is making money in the beginning. Like, you should be focused on what's going to bring money in. And then all that other stuff you're worried about, taxes, systems, processes, all of that stuff, then you start worrying about that. Like, let the business make money first and let the money from the business take care of all the other things that need to be done. Don't worry about all that crap. And because I'm I have this sort of engineering mind where I've got to understand like the little facets of everything, and that has not served me very well. You need to put all of that aside and focus on the money making activities. And I think we've finally come to that place where you and I, especially when we get on, like that's what we're doing. We're not dicking around with all the other nonsense. We're focused on the $1 million moves that we need to make, right? To get
Yeah,
to
I'm
get things
proud
done.
of you. You've come a long way.
Well, I appreciate that. But there's some things like, and people pick up on it, but there's some things like, I don't always trust, and this is something I'm working on. Like, I don't always trust my numbers. You know
I
what I mean?
know.
I look at my numbers, I'm like, you second guessing myself. It's like, that's not good. Right. And so, but that's something that
Well,
that's
it's,
something I'm
it's,
working on. Right.
yeah, it's something you're working on. It's just what it is. And
Well,
that's why I have patience when you're going through that because, um, we're all learning and growing here, right? I mean, yes, it's about making money together, but it's also about building relationships and long-lasting business. Like we don't want to just make money and then we have to keep doing that scramble. That's just similar to the regular job, right? We want to build a business that ultimately is making money
while
for,
we sleep.
yeah. And then we can go out and continue to build relationships with others. And that continues to build our business and other people's businesses along the way, which if everyone has a successful business, you would think for the most part, we would all be happy, right? Like, you know,
That's never how it works because your happiness is not necessarily derived from like more things.
no,
It's
not more things. No, not
and
necessarily. I'm just saying it makes it easier, right?
sure,
When you
sure.
know that you have that income and you could take
Yes.
care of yourself physically, mentally, whatever you could want or need is taken care of, right?
Right.
So, I mean, that's my goal. I don't want, see, look, you got me saying I don't.
Mhm.
I
I don't got you doing nothing. That's on you.
I want, I
Uh,
want to be able to, go and be able to go wherever I want, do whatever I want, right? Whether it be to take care of myself physically, mentally, whatever, or just to enjoy myself, right? I want to just freely be able to do that with an income from the business or businesses. It's going to be more like businesses, not just a business.
yeah.
I mean, I already have a million ideas going on in my head. It's all good.
Yeah. That's all right. That's good. I like the ideas. Let's keep them coming. But also stay focused. Right? And don't lose focus on the
No, I'm not. No, 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 no. We've reined it in. You and I both are getting better. I think we both kind of started off like,
well, yeah. Yeah. Exactly. But I feel, like that's a lot of people go through that though. A lot of people go through that and that's the shiny object syndrome problem, right? You're going all over the place, getting involved in all kinds of stuff, and it's just it doesn't serve you, right? To having too many things going on at once, all of those things, right?
well, like going to the buffet, you have all of these choices. of
Well,
all-
not 97% of businesses fail, so let's have nine businesses, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Right. So, and it doesn't, but see, that's the thing, that sounds good. That
No,
sounds
I
like it could work, but it doesn't work. It
don't.
doesn't really work that way. Um, so
You crack me up. You
mhm.
crack.
I actually I do have to get going here. What time is it? It's 12, almost 1 o'clock. We've been on for an hour, right?
I know.
45 minutes.
It's so much better when people don't jump in with us. I love you guys. I'm just talking shit.
Yeah, that's what Pansy does. She talks shit. Um, um, in a
It's
good
all out of love.
in a good way. Um, yeah, so I appreciate you, Pansy, and I hope somebody out there got some kind of value from listening to us. But just keep focused on what you actually want and actually that this is something I need to do. Give yourself a freaking timeline. Well, we have given ourselves a timeline. So, but really do that. Like, and it's
Yeah,
scary.
we have more things to focus on. I'm
We
gonna
do, but what my point is, like, it's scary to do that for people. And even for me, it's like, I don't really want to give myself a timeline because now I got to hold myself accountable. Now I've got to know, whether or not I failed, right? But you never failed. You just learned along the way, right? It's not about failure. You give yourself a timeline, yeah, so you can hold yourself accountable. So you actually do the work. Do you know what I mean? When you see the time clicking away, you're actually going to do the work because otherwise it's just this fuzzy thing that never gets done and you don't have to hold yourself accountable to it. But if you can't hold yourself accountable to it, you need a partner, you need accountability, people to hold you accountable. I'm of the strong opinion that you should not be telling people what you're doing. Show people what you're doing. Don't tell people what you're doing. Show people what you're doing because when you tell people you're going to do this, you're going to do that, something weird happens in the brain. And this is proven. This has actually been studied. You tell people you're going to do a thing. Like, hey Pansy, I'm going to make $1 million this year selling high ticket e-commerce stuff. You tell someone you're going to do something, and then your brain does this thing where it thinks you've already done it. And it really does throw you out. So don't tell anyone what you're going to do. Just
you
go
said
do it.
don't
Just go do it. Oh, sorry, I said don't. Well,
do it.
avoid telling people what you're going to do. Just go do it and show people.
Right. Be a shower.
Yeah.
All right. Let me end this. Thanks, everyone. Till next time. How do I stop?
We're doing this tomorrow too, right?
That's
Tomorrow
stop.
morning.
Yeah, hold on, hold on. Oh, I don't know how to stop it. I gotta learn this.